you? What you mean?
It's your show.
What's up, y'all? This is Kicks and Clickbait. We are here live and in the flesh at the 54th CBC ALC, not ACL. That's why I broke.
You broke ACL. I did it, man. That's a year recovery,
man.
On the short end.
You know, that's actually a trap because I ain't never broke my ACL.
Oh man,
so,
see, come on now, that's the wrong. Now you're doing the wrong content. Man. This ain't true to trap. Nah, go ahead.
What's up, y'all? This is your boy Michael J. Payton, along with
man with Cam Middlebrooks with Onyx Impact.
Yes, sir. And we are here celebrating everything black. We're celebrating, you know, amplifying our voices, and we out here spreading good information, not disinformation.
Amen.
And we know it's so many beautiful black people.
Dude, it is, man. Like this is, I don't know how many thousands of black folks are here for this, but I can remember the first time I was in this convention center back in like 2006. Man, I'm dating myself right now. But I was a member of NAACP Youth Council, right? And I walk in, I see about 500 to 600 young black people my age. So it's almost nostalgic to come back in here.
It's beautiful.
That's where my civil rights policy journey started.
I love that.
And now, 15 short years later,
man, here we are.
Dude, it's
full
crazy.
Circle. Talk about full circle.
Yeah, man.
Man, this is crazy, man. I remember my first time at CBC week in general. Yeah. It got to be like 2017, 18. I was living in New York at the time. My man and I, we went to we just took a bus out to out here to DC.
Yeah.
Man, we had a good time, man.
That's
it was like
up,
I ain't
you
never
took
seen
the bus? You was on public transit?
Hey, bro. No, we were on Megabus.
Megabus. Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
Shout out to Megabus, but we done grew up from that.
We elevated.
We on planes
elevated,
now.
yeah. But it was a good foundation.
It was a good foundation, man. I've never seen so many beautiful black people, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the sisters, man, the brothers, everything,
man. Hey, black is beautiful, and the ALC shows that.
Black is, man, like we are living in Wakanda.
Yeah. Come on now. We gotta do the.
You know what I'm saying?
We in there.
You know what I'm saying? So
hey, now be careful though. There's too much power in that.
It's too much.
We gotta slow down. We gotta slow down, man.
We down the block from Thanos.
Yeah. Hey.
You know.
Come on now.
So we might be careful.
Hey.
You know.
We all gotta do it in unison though.
Hey, I ain't trying.
And then it's over with.
I ain't trying to get Jimmy Kimmel.
No. Hey, come on, man. Come on now. But you know what? He came back.
He did come back.
He rose from the dead.
He did come back. You know. But you know, black folks, it's a little hard for us to come back.
It's a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder in this country and at this time, man.
For sure,
but shoot,
man.
this is, man, I've been here, this is day 2 right now.
Yeah.
Dude, I gotta tell you, man, y'all see Black Press USA behind us.
Yeah,
we're partnering with them on the Information Integrity Lab. And I think we got like 3 out of our 5 partners that are here. Man, I'm looking over there, I see the Washington Inquirer. We got the Baltimore Afro over there. There's been a couple, the Afro Baltimore over there. There's been a couple that have just stopped by. And man, just to hear how much they enjoy the Information Integrity Lab, which, I don't know, have y'all talked about that on the pod before?
We've never really dove into it yet because we wanted to wait till it rolled out.
Mike, I gotta let you know about this, dog. So Information Integrity Lab, we're partnering up local black papers with a local black creator.
Right.
Because we know, man, these papers have hundreds of years of institutional knowledge, community knowledge, right? But young black folks ain't always reading papers, right?
No.
So these young creators are amplifying these stories and driving audience to these papers so they can create a new market and a new listener to get to or new reader, I should say, to get to their papers, man.
I love that.
Oh, it's amazing.
I love that. I love that. And it's really bold and it's disruptive. I love it because people think newspapers, it's like, well, that's old school. Why read a newspaper? But man, black newspapers and black media has such a long lineage in this country, and it's been really at the forefront of a lot of our fights and our struggles in America. Right. So it's beautiful that we're now in this digital age and this new age of AI that we're putting a spotlight back on black media and black newspapers. Man, I love it.
It's even more important, man. I've been asking a lot of people here, tell me if you agree with this statement.
Yeah.
Us as Americans probably trust media at an all-time low right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? You agree with that?
Absolutely.
I agree with that. But I think you'd also agree with this. Black people still trust black media.
Absolutely.
We just got to get it out to them more.
Absolutely.
Right? That is the whole goal behind the Information Integrity Lab.
Absolutely.
These are trusted sources.
Right.
Let's push that out into the digital space,
Absolutely.
Bringing them along to this new digital world that we're in, but also reconnecting our community to the truth that we know these papers have.
Absolutely. And that's why I love this partnership that Onyx has with Black Press USA. To be connected to all the black newspapers in the country.
Right.
Like that's a powerful thing. That's a very, very powerful thing. And to be able to have that platform and then also help to amplify their platform even more, I mean, it's a match made in black media heaven. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
And you're right. We definitely trust our media a lot more than, we would trust mainstream media.
Right,
because
right.
I know people who get their news from the Shade Room, from Baller Alert. Now it's going to be strictly
from going to be straight from the papers themselves,
exactly,
right? Man, yeah. We don't have to rely on all that other
exactly.
the mainstream media, man, that might say some things that are sensationalized, right?
Exactly.
But black media, they're going to give us the real, the raw, and it's going to be community-centered and community-focused.
Facts.
Amen.
Yeah, man. So we're also here because we're rolling out, or I should say Onyx is rolling out a report. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, man. This is huge, man. As we know, this past year, this administration has done everything in its power to do one of three things: to erase Black history, to suppress Black history, or to intimidate us off of our square, right? So what Onyx Impact has done, we've gotten a great group of researchers that have gone through and identified everything that's been erased, everything that's been suppressed, and what they're intimidating. We're gonna have over 13,000 points of data to prove this, from book bans to defunding educational programs, to defunding research like sickle cell anemia, right? Like these are things that have a direct or indirect effect, not only on our health, right, but our wealth, our growth, the opportunity for us to envision what our futures look like.
Right. So Cam, tell me, man. I hear a lot, man. I'm talking to the YNs. I'm talking to my cousins and the kids out there, and they're like, man, it's funny because like the Gen Z generation feels like they're a lot less tapped in with like the Black culture,
right,
than they used to, than like our generation was.
Tell
it, like, why should my 22-year-old cousin, who's like, what they got to do with me? This is history, like whatever. Like, tell him. I'm gonna call his name out. I'm not gonna put him on blast. But tell my 22-year-old cousin why things like the Blackout Report, things like this partnership with Black media, why it's so important, especially in 2025.
Yeah, man, that's a great question. And you kind of said what my answer is going to lead into, but you mentioned history, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times when we talk to the YNs, right, when you talk about the history, they're like, man, we ain't trying to go back, we're trying to go
Young
forward.
nobles, that's what that stands
young nobles.
for.
Yeah. They ain't trying to go back, right? But the importance is we got to understand our history to know that where we're going, right? Because a lot of these attacks that we're seeing right now, they've happened before, right? Jim Crow, right? That was real.
Yeah.
Now we're dealing with James Crow Esquire. Right? Yeah. These are the new updated attacks, not only on policy, but on real things, right? When you talk about defunding research, you talk about defunding our educational system. These are opportunities that we can use to advance ourselves, right? The sickle cell anemia, right? That's a huge health component, right? But when you get into education, if they're not teaching us Black history, then they're not teaching us American history. Because Black history is as much American history as it is anything else.
That part. Talk about that a little bit, man, because we talked about that on our What's Good podcast, or it's not a podcast, but it's about to be one.
It's about to be a podcast.
It's about to be a podcast. But a lot of our people feel disconnected from America, right? And not realizing that we are very integral to not only the culture, but like we're taxpayers, man. Our ancestors built this country. We're continuing to build this country. Like I think people feel a disconnect from, oh man, I'm not American. I'm Black. Which is fine. Like we are Black, right? But like, talk about how the work that y'all are doing is kind of like how that is kind of dispelling those myths, if you will, right?
Well, no, I mean, it's very important that you bring up, right? You talk about, sometimes folks want to be considered Black but not American. You pick the ethnic group, you know what I mean? And I get it, right? Because the way America is shifting right now, it's a country that we don't necessarily recognize, right? But when you dig into the history, right, and I'm gonna say Black history, but you know what I mean as American history, right? We were integral in the success of this country, right? When you look at the slave trade, right? However bad that was, right? That was pivotal to America becoming the economic giant that it was, right? Textiles. You can't get textiles without cotton. You couldn't get cotton back then without the blood, sweat, and tears of Black Americans. So when we say we built when we built these streets,
we really did.
We did, right? But let's move on, right? We're in DC right now. I love looking at the White House. That's a beautiful building.
Beautiful.
It's not beautiful to me because of the people that's in it. It's beautiful to me because of the people who built it. Right? And that goes down the line of historical structures that we have been an integral part with our bare hands of building. right? And then culture, you mentioned that too.
Yeah.
Man, when you look at American culture, who do you see?
Black culture.
Right? And I know, man, they might be looking at me like, well, I'm asking a black man.
Right.
We can ask any white person. Who's your favorite rapper?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
There's 9 times out of 10, if it ain't Eminem, it's going to be a black person. Right. Who your favorite actor?
Well,
Denzel or Michael B. Jordan?
Vanilla Ice for me, personally.
Vanilla Ice for you?
Yeah,
you know what? Hey, you know what?
Hey.
Where's your card at?
Hey, hold on, let me see. Hold on.
I'm going to snatch this on live. We throwing it away, man. But no, that's real though, right? But it's still an African experience that they're getting. Right.
Exactly.
It's now African American, whatever you want to call it now.
Right.
The truth's in the pudding, man. We built this country, we maintain this country.
Absolutely.
And I would dare say that we're the soul of this country.
I 100% agree. And that's why I think the work that y'all are doing at Onyx and the work, I mean, it's so pivotal in that journey.
Hey, you know Onyx means black, right?
Wait, what?
You know, I mean, it's a black stone, brother. Like, that was...
I knew that.
Yeah, okay.
I'm messing with y'all. I'm making myself look real crazy on this camera today, man. Hey, it's all good. It's all for entertainment.
Hey, that answer was not what's good. But the truth is...
Truth or trap.
Right.
No, man. Yeah, no. And I love it. Onyx means black.
Yep.
And I love what y'all are doing at Onyx because, like I said, for me, I'm always about trying to, tell our story. I'm a filmmaker.
Right.
So I'm always about trying to find ways to tell our stories. And it's like, it's not just about telling our history. It's also about telling about what we're doing presently as well. That's why I love the fact that y'all are going into y'all are entering the chat.
Yeah.
And be like, nah, we don't call this. And what I love too is that you're not calling people out, you're calling people up.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So many people are so quick to like, try to, get
cast something out,
somebody out, and it's like, oh, you're canceled, and you're not doing that. What y'all are doing is giving people the tools and the information to actually, learn how to be critical media, literate. You know what I mean?
Right.
So one of those tools is Aisha.
Exactly.
And I know we got some stuff rolling, and I know the folks who are following Onyx know about.
Right. They know how to
Aisha,
get there, right? Yeah.
But there's some stuff coming with Aisha, and I'll let you talk about it.
So, man, let me back you up just a little bit, right, to get to how we got here, right? Because Aisha was really just supposed to be a chatbot. You remember those days when we were talking about the digital green book?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we were like, we need a way for folks to interact with it.
Right.
Now that with the digital green book, we taught you how to spot mis- and disinformation. Now you might have a question. Aisha was the tool to help you figure that out, right? But we in no way thought at the time that we were building it that an app was needed. Right. We didn't have that foresight.
Right.
But you know who did? Everybody that we introduced it to.
So, for real.
We quickly pivoted, changed course, and say we got to get the people what they need and what they want, right? So we've been working really hard over the past several months to develop Aisha into an application, into an app that you can get in the iStore, or if you're an Android user, I know there's those out there, you can get it there too.
All two of y'all.
All two, yeah. But man, we're excited. We're actually,
you know who I'm talking to.
You know who I'm talking about. We're actually at CBC this week, man, demoing the first iteration of our app.
Yeah.
Man, and the response has been crazy. Folks coming up, man. So is this
been tremendous?
It is.
Has been tremendous.
Huge.
It's been huge.
Huge. The biggest.
Quite
it's the
frankly,
best.
I don't think anyone's ever seen anything like it.
You gotta do the head nod. You gotta do the head nod.
No one's ever quite seen anything like it, and they never will. They never will.
They never will.
Not the fake news. Not the fake
news. We're getting the real news. And guess what the real news is? Black news.
Something he'll never say, by the way. He'll never say.
This was not AI.
This was just It's real.
No, man, it has been tremendous though, man. I mean, from the old heads to the young heads.
Yeah.
They are, I think people are craving this, right?
Yeah.
Everybody I know is using some form of AI.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
But I remember, man, I was one of the guys that stopped by. He's like, man, I use AI like every day.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many racist remarks or responses that I get.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, damn, bro, I got you.
Yeah.
Like
Facts.
this was made for you.
Facts.
Man, so it's huge. I'm glad we're doing it with our partnership with BPUSA.
Yeah.
Because as you know, Michael, when you ask Aisha a question, the first thing it's going to source is black media.
Black news. Yeah.
Black news.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
And when we tell folks that, man, that's just another double down that folks have, a reason why they want to support it and get with it.
I love it, man. What I also love about it is that, let's just keep it real. We keep it real, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of black folks that are rightfully skeptical of AI.
Sure.
And I love how we're just kind of going right at it because Asosa, the founder of Onyx, said something I think was profound. Like, AI is here. It's not coming.
Exactly.
It's not like it's
already
on its way. In 5 years, everything will be. No, it's right now.
Yeah.
People are making medical decisions.
Yep.
Doctors are using this. Lawyers are using it.
Yeah.
No,
I think did it write Dame's lawsuit?
I definitely wrote that. Hold on now. Hold on, man. Listen. The words expressed in this here is not affiliated with Rock Nation or anyone else.
Yeah,
but yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's what Cam claimed.
That's what
I'm
they
just
claim.
asking.
I don't get involved.
Maybe we should. I don't know if Aisha's updated yet to figure that one out.
She ain't figured that. She ain't
No,
got the bandwidth.
she ain't got the bandwidth.
Listen, I don't want to get served with.
All right, man. Let me stop being a chatty patty. Let me stop being a chatty patty.
Come on, Dad Dash. Come on, Dad Dash. What you doing, man? No, but seriously, people are using it. People are writing. I wrote a couple of contracts on AI. I'm just letting y'all know that. Keep it real.
You know what?
But so it's here, and so the fact that we're diving in on it and we're not running away from it. But talk to the people who are skeptical, right? Because there are still a lot of people. You'll see it in the comments, even on on Onyx. Like folks are like, I don't know, this is sucking up a lot of energy, and it's messing up our environment. Talk about the cost. I don't want to say benefit, but talk about the cost if we don't engage in AI.
Well, man, the cost if we don't engage in AI is we get left behind. Like you mentioned, as Sosa said, it's here. It's been here, right? I mean, just think about how many times you talked to a bot on a telephone 10 years ago, right? Yeah. People are already using it to cut costs and save money, right? And I know a lot of people think that it's gonna affect jobs, right? But let's think about just industrial changes over time, right? When they created the what's your boy Ford, created the Model T, right? There was a whole process behind that, right? Now that got rid of a lot of people's jobs who were, making it by hand. Right. But it also created a whole lot more jobs because they were able to be innovative in the car space. Right. AI is going to give us the ability to be innovative. Yes. Right. Yes. I can't tell you how many young brothers and sisters I talk to that are using AI just for number one thing, to save time. Yeah. 100%. Right. And you own your own businesses. Absolutely. Time is money. Money is time. So if you can save time, you can make more money. You can be more innovative. You can try new ideas. Right. And you use AI as your personal assistant. Right. And then the huge benefit, what we're using it for, right, is to figure out what's real and what's not. Right. How much time, I can't tell you how much time I used to waste. Right. Going online, man, I just be on my TikTok, be on my Twitter, man, I can't believe he said that. Right. Let me go try to find it. Fact check, right. No, I gotta go fact check it. I gotta go stay up on CNN all day long to see if they say it again. Right. Right now, man, I see something crazy, I'm pulling out Aisha. Yeah. And guess what? It's gonna be sourced. Right. And it's gonna be sourced by Black news. So I know I can trust it. I know it's loyal to the causes that I care about. Yeah, definitely. And another thing too is that I feel like our folks are always, like you're saying, sometimes we get behind the curve sometimes because we look at these phones and we look at social media and we built Twitter, man. We built Instagram, TikTok. With our culture is what feeds this algorithm, and it does. And too often we're behind the 8 ball when it comes to it. Jay-Z has a line in the song Entrepreneur with Pharrell. He says, Black Twitter, what's that? When Jack gets paid, do you? You know what I'm saying? So we're here, and ChatGPT is gonna be here. We got all these other tools that's here. But when are we gonna get ahead of the curve and be like this? We're going to tackle this market and corner this and use it to our benefit. Because how many small businesses can get started with using AI? How many, How many health outcomes can change with thanks to AI? So I think it's important that we have to use it. And with Aisha, right? It's not only Black owned. Yeah. It's not only Black engineers behind it. Yeah. It's not only powered by Black news. Yeah. We built this with Black folks in mind because of some of those very same reasons that you're talking about, right? This is aimed at the skeptical Black man, right? We want you to be engaged with this. Did you call him by name? I ain't call him by name. Oh, okay. Hey, tell me on the side. I ain't know when. Man, we might tell. I try to get him. He's a little bit more clever than that, man. Nah, but for real, at the end of the day, it's Black power. It's Black centric, right? It's for the Black skeptical. It's for everybody, really. But this is really, like I said before, Black people trust Black media. This is a way for us to make sure you're staying engaged with sourcing that's real, that matters. And again, as you mentioned, you can use it if you want to figure out how to start a business. You don't get 5 steps. The first things you need to do. You want to lose weight. Here are the 5 first things you need to do. Put it up real quick. Man. Let me see. Hold on. I'm telling you, I'm trying to buy a house here soon. Right. But I came up with a family. All we did was rent. Right. I don't know about mortgage, right? I don't know what it costs, what the upkeep cost is. I went into Aisha. Because you know what? I don't look like a dummy and go ask somebody, right? I'll be real with you. That Black pride, right? Exactly. But now I got Aisha. I can figure that out. And again, taxes.
Taxes.
Oh man, come on now.
It helped me. I saved a lot of money on my taxes.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? That might be a new tagline.
Yeah.
Aisha, I saved a lot of money.
I saved a lot of money. No, real talk, man. No, I love it, man, and thank you for giving that insight.
Yeah.
We here at CBC, and we got a bunch of
we got some guests coming up too,
we got some
man.
guests coming. I'm waiting to see if I ain't gonna say no names, but I'm trying to see if we're gonna circle back. But we definitely got some good guests in the building today. But I wanna have real talk. We here at CBC, right?
Right.
And this whole fight against dis and misinformation. Why? How integral has dis and misinformation been on, us? When I say us losing an election, I'm not even trying to refer to a particular party because I understand that, but.
Well, I'll say this. I think I know where you're going with it, man.
The policies that get
this mis and disinformation disengages our people, right? You look at it, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna talk about black men right now. Right. In last year's election, right? Let's talk about the raw numbers. When you look at 2024 versus 2020 versus 2016 versus 08, the trend of black men turnout has gone down. Right. Because they have attacked us with mis and disinformation through social media, because that's where we're at, right? Last year, in particularly, what certain actors did was push this narrative that Kamala's not black, push this narrative that Trump knows more about business, he's an entrepreneur, young black man, you want to make money, you should trust Trump, or push this narrative that just stay on the couch, right? People got disengaged, right? So the courts are not showing up and turning out. And let's be real, I'm not even totally focused on federal elections.
Right.
The local elections matter more to me.
100%.
Right. But if you're disengaged at that level, who cares about the local level, right? Because we don't even talk about it that much, right?
Not at all.
So when it comes to the work that Onyx Impact is doing, we got to combat that mis and disinformation, right? We got to identify social media channels that our young black folks are already at.
Right.
Whether that's through entertainment, through fashion, through Kicks. We ain't even talked about Kicks yet. This Kicks and Clickbait.
I know, right?
We'll get there though. But we have to engage those type of platforms, right?
Yeah.
And then we create spaces to talk about being civically engaged, right?
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to lead with it, right? Because you don't lead your everyday life with who I'm gonna vote for.
Right.
We lead our everyday life with the entire ecosystem of our lives, right? But we just got to make sure that we can incorporate civic engagement into those conversations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what does that look like, Cam? Because I know there's a lot of money being spent on trying to figure out how do we talk jive to those brothers over there? How do you do it? I have my theories, but how do you as Onyx Impact, how are y'all engaging? Obviously we're having conversations like this. We're doing what's good. We're talking to black men like we're in a barbershop.
Right.
But understand, I want people to understand it's not pandering, right? It's not pandering. We're not trying to sell you a dream. It's we just gotta have real conversations. Talk more about how Onyx is doing that.
How we do that, so you gotta remember, right, we're a research firm first, right? So we got a great team of analysts and other partners that have gone out and identified where these platforms are. The good actors and the bad actors, right? So we know what platforms our community is already going to, right? Once we've identified those, we can now share that with our partners that are in this space, right? That have the content, right? That have content creators that say, hey, we need you on this platform. We need you on that platform, right? We're already got the engagement there. You're just going to be a benefit add to that platform, right? And you're going to get the message out to the young black men, young black women that we need, because they're already there. We ain't got to recreate the wheel. We're doing content right now. I think we're pretty good at it. But there's a lot of people that got bigger, larger reaches than us, right?
Absolutely.
And when it comes to storytelling, that's how you change people, right? You got to be able to tell a story. You got to do it over time, right? And we can't wait until the election time to do it. We got to start now and incorporate these visits to folks.
And you got to have real qualitative conversations. And I know, listen, if I get canceled because I'm talking to a research firm, but the data is not the only thing. You have to have conversations with people, because trying to talk to my uncle who drives a Mack truck for a living about the data says that black men, you got what's going on in his life, right? What's going on, you know what I mean? And these, I think too often there's these assumptions about what black men want and what we, you know what I mean? And we get clumped into this big pile, and it's well, we care about businesses too. We care about the economy. We care about education. We're more active in our and I know we're gonna talk about fatherhood at some point too. But like we're more active in our chat. Not that I have kids, but I mean, I know like when I see brothers with kids, they're more active in their kids' life than any other group. So those are things that conversations that black men want to have, and I think that we're fostering that you know that environment to have.
It is. I mean, that's especially what's good, man. I was just talking to a friend. I was talking to Greer, our good friend Greer, who's like, man, what's good? Shout out to Greer. Shout out to Black Press USA. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her.
Absolutely. Shout out to Niel too.
But she mentioned a podcast, you know, that's out there. I ain't gonna call the name.
Right.
She's like, yeah, man, I listen to it all the time, but you know, sometimes, you know, the conversation goes one way or the other.
Right.
Where's the good content, right? Where's the what's good content?
Right.
That's why I love what we're doing, you know what I mean? Whether it's the one-offs or the you know, our folks don't even know we're going to make it a podcast yet.
Yeah, they don't know
but
yet.
It's going to be a podcast. But
hey,
like, man,
it's coming, all right?
But it's that barbershop talk, right? That real talk that you're talking about, right?
Right.
Like, man, I love it when my favorite thing about a crisis, right, is I get to hop on the line with my boys from back in the day that I grew up with, and we talk about it. And you know what? We're not a monolith, so we're not always on the same side.
Right.
But there's no realer conversation that I can have than one with my fellas. Right? So we got to bring that to the top, you know what I mean? And get it out there. I was about to say the cream of the crop. I don't know if you're a wrestling fan or Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, come on, man.
Come on
what?
now. Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we got the cream of the crop. All right, we're going to get canceled for this.
I'm definitely getting canceled. I'm definitely getting canceled. Shout out to all my wrestling marks out there too. You a wrestling fan?
Man, I grew up on wrestling, dog. I mean, but like from Hulk Hogan original days where I got in.
Right.
I know we ain't really rocking with them now. Or people can change.
I want to talk about that so bad.
People can change.
I want to talk about it so bad, but I don't want to get canceled.
Yeah, but I mean, Rocky Maivia. Like I go back to Rocky Maivia. Rocky Maivia. You know, we.
Are you talking about Dwayne Johnson? Or are you talking about?
Man, I'm talking about. The dad too.
Yeah, but
I'm talking about Dwayne. I'm talking about Dwayne. He came out Rocky Maivia,
with the colorful shorts and
shorts, man. Sting.
Come
on, man.
Bro. Lex Luger.
Oh.
The NWO. I mean, that was my whole childhood. That was my whole childhood,
man.
And
I gotta be real though with you, man. I was so upset the day that I realized wrestling wasn't as real as.
Wait, it's not real?
Dog.
Ooh.
They got a whole Netflix documentary on it. I'm like, why'd y'all tell me secrets? You know what I mean?
You know, as I've gotten older, man, like I appreciate the fact that it's scripted.
Yeah.
But what those folks do, they put their bodies online.
They do. No, they're real athletes.
Right.
They're real athletes.
And I think it's very informative because I'm a real wrestling mark. Like, Like I go in. But I think it's something you can learn about the storytelling, right?
Yeah.
Because when you get to see, and this is what Trump is good at. I'm gonna be honest. Like he can walk into a room and he can read. Like I bet you if Trump walked in here right now, and I guarantee, and we're all gonna boo him. Right?
Yeah.
But he will find a way to be like, he will find a way to work this room.
Yep.
Right. And it's.
It's like
it's a skill though that.
I mean, you think about it, every time you see Trump, he ain't doing nothing but a wrestling promotion.
All he's doing is
promo.
That's all he's doing is kind of promo. That's all he's doing
is
kind of promo, and I think that's so informative to like the political space, right? Because I think we have a lot of good ideas, but we don't necessarily always have the right people to know how to.
We talk about his message and messenger, right?
Exactly.
How do we develop message?
Exactly.
And do we have the right messengers delivering said message? Right.
Exactly.
You know, because sometimes you gotta lay the people's elbow on somebody.
You got to. You got to. But you gotta let them know that you're gonna do it.
You gotta let them know. You gotta bounce from side to side on the
And that's what was interesting about wrestling is that is what at the core. Now it's changed a lot, but like at the core, that's used to how people get in the door. Like the Macho Man promo, the Hulk Hogan, what you gonna do, brother? That would get people to go to the pay-per-view. That same thing. We need people like, and we're seeing folks, and I won't name them because I don't want to get too in the weeds like the partisan stuff, but you know, we see how certain people resonate on both sides, right? On both sides. And
they're engaging to their audiences.
She's here. I know Jasmine Crockett is here.
Yeah.
Jasmine Crockett is one of those voices that resonate and cuts through. Whether you agree with everything or not, it's like she cuts through because she's telling it how it is and she makes you lean in.
Man, if I was a DNC, I'd hire a camera crew 24/7 just to follow her around.
Follow around.
Because she ain't said nothing to miss on social media. You know what I mean? She ain't got to be right all the time. She ain't got to say the right thing all the time.
Right.
One thing that she is she's real all the time.
Absolutely.
And people need people to be genuine right now more than ever.
And that's it, man. Yeah. That's it. And I, you know, bringing it all back, I think it's funny and ironic that, you know, you were talking about how we go to AI to fact check.
Right.
How we use the artificial intelligence to now like learn stuff. It's crazy, man. But I love what y'all are doing. I love that I can see in a very near future that this is about to go in a place that I don't think y'all even quite ready for, bro.
Dude, man, you know what?
There's such a hunger out there for this, man.
There's a huge hunger, right? There's a huge hunger. And the great thing about, we ain't got to be ready today, because we get ready, right? I mean, we got great partnerships like we got with your team, man, with our comms team, with the engineers that are building this, and we talked through all of that. We talked through what scale looks like, right? So I would say we are ready, because we know what potentially is coming.
Right.
I think it's gonna get realer and realer the closer that we get there. Right. And I can feel it here today, man. Right. This stuff, this is a product that folks have been wanting, and they didn't even know they wanted.
And I think it's that Steve Jobs model.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you created, people didn't even know they needed it, but they need it.
Exactly.
We didn't know we needed iPhones 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And now we can't live without them.
Yeah. Come on now. So, now if you ain't got an iPhone, something
And I
wrong.
think it's so critical now in this time, in this era, as Black folks, that if we're not equipping ourselves with the tools and the resources to fight, and that's why I was going back to what I was saying earlier about how we're always kind of behind the 8 ball.
Right.
Because this AI and stuff, it's been out here. It's been out. It didn't just pop up in 2024.
No.
It's been out here for a minute, and we've been, impacted by it. Obviously, and we can see several elections that people sat home or, voted a different way because of misinformation. So I love that we're equipping people with the tools that they'll need to kind of, especially as we go into midterms and eventually 2028.
The next general election,
So what's I know we got a lot more show to go, but like what is kind of the next steps from here for Onyx? I mean, you're rolling out, and we'll talk more about the blackout plan, the blackout report as well. But like what's kind of next? You have the blackout report coming. Aisha is dropping. 2020.
Well, man, I think if you look at, this next year will be the 3rd year of Onyx Impact, right? I think the first year we really focused on foundation, right? Doing a lot of the research to get us to a point that we were at the beginning of this year, right? This year that we've just been through, 2024, is really about infrastructure building, right? Getting our social medias together so we can reach our audience, right? Doing a little bit more research so we can figure out, what are some platforms that we need to drive people to, right? Creating tools like Aisha, creating resources like the Digital Green Book, right? This is infrastructure building, right? In 2026, we have to activate it, right? We now have these channels, man. Y'all done helped us get to, as of yesterday, 50,000 followers on Instagram, right? Those are 50,000 people we get to have a conversation with every single day, right? Through our partnerships, we expound upon that 50,000, it's 200, 300, 400,000, right? But now we got to activate those pathways and those channels, right? With the 2026 midterms coming up, it's going to be important for us to show up and show out and help people combat misinformation going into that, because we know it's going to be a pivotal election.
Absolutely.
But every election is pivotal, man.
Every election is the most important of our lifetime.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you what the most important election is. Do you know the most important election ever? The next election.
It's that
simple. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So we got to put the work in to get people prepared and ready, right? It's about education, right? And the quicker they know what's real, the quicker they have an opportunity, man, to pull that trigger and vote early and tell their friends about why they voted and who they voted for.
And like you were saying earlier, it's not just the state, the nationwide elections or statewide. It's those local elections.
City council, man. School board.
City council. Who's on the school board? Who's your sheriff? Like you can determine who your sheriff is, right? Like these are our taxpayer dollars, right? So it's critical that we are informed and equipped with.
And here's the great thing: Aisha goes that deep. You wanna know why? Because we're partnering with Black Papers.
Right.
So they got the research. They've done the research for you. Right. You know what I mean? So you go out there and verify through them.
Let me ask you a question. I'm gonna be devil's advocate a little bit here. Given that it is sourced strictly from Black news, right? Or is it strictly from Black news?
Not strictly. So that's a good indicator, right? So just like ChatGPT, it has the ability to go out to the entire internet.
Got it.
Okay. But what how we've instructed it is we're instructing it to source Black news first.
To prioritize
Black media, Black news.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you say to like my second part of the question? If people say like it's bias, is there any? How do you root out the bias in Black bias in
Black bias? I can't root out Black bias, right?
Right. Okay.
We rap with we good.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I can't root out Black bias. I don't want to root out Black bias. And, I would double down and say it is. It is.
Fair enough.
And the reason is because we need something that's rooted in the truth. Like I asked you earlier, right? So there's my retort.
Right.
Do you trust mainstream media? You hesitated.
Yeah.
Do you trust black media?
Yeah.
That's why it's rooted in black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, y'all, we are back with Kicks and Clickbait. We got a very, very, very special guest in the building, man.
I'm excited for this one.
Man, this is big, man. I feel like this is crazy, man. We got Greg Jackson. Greg, you were former you ran the gun violence prevention office in the Biden White House. Now you're running the Rocket Foundation, which is Quavo's nonprofit, which is helping to stop gun violence and I want to say in Atlanta, but I feel like it's also nationwide. Yeah. So talk a little more about what you do, man.
Yeah. I've been in the gun violence prevention space for 13 years. First of all, I started as a survivor of gun violence. Unfortunately, I was shot in 2013, and believe it or not, I was shot outside of this building.
Wow.
And so some of the bullets that missed me hit this convention center. But one did strike me and hit 2 arteries, nearly costing my life. And I came out of that 6-month recovery really wanting to change things. And being someone who was already passionate about politics, I was really frustrated at how our politicians weren't doing anything on this issue, right? Even when there was a mass shooting where young white kids were killed, there still was no action, no policy. And so I decided to really focus on that back in 2013. And so started off locally, working in DC government, then doing national-based work. And in 2022, I played a big role in passing the first law in 30 years, the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. And after we passed it, we went to the White House and was like, look, what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna implement this thing or not? And they said, well, you know so much, why don't you come over here and do it? And so I put my little outlet suit on and served in the White House and was able to work in the West Wing and for 426 days. And it was pretty impactful, man. We did 54 executive actions. We reduced homicides by 31% in just 2 years. And then when Trump came into office, he shut it all down, unfortunately. But I met a lot of really great leaders along the way, and Quavo was one of them, somebody I was a big fan of. He called me, he said, you always got a home with us, bro. And so I was like, all right, I'm coming. And so now I serve as the president of his foundation, where we're giving dollars to organizations locally that are working to prevent violence, both in Atlanta and nationwide.
Awesome, man, awesome. Man, that's dude, I didn't know that part of your story, man. So give me a moment just to revel in that, man. I'm somebody who's worked in the criminal justice reform space before. We shared a boss at one time. If you go all the way up.
Carter.
Yeah, Mr. Carter, right? Yeah. So one thing that I know in that space, right, is data matters, right? Let's just say that data matters, right? But data doesn't always get the football across the goal line, right? Storytelling does, though.
Yeah.
Talk to us about how you've utilized storytelling in the mission work that you've done over the course of your career.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, I started with my own story, and making sure that people see that there's strength in being vulnerable, and a lot of folks, they see a shooting in the news and it says 2 men shot or black men killed or young youth shot, but they don't know the full extent of it. They don't know I went through 6 months of recovery, 6 different surgeries, $22,000 in debt, financial debt, and frankly, a lifetime of trauma. And it's important to really humanize this crisis because the media spends a lot of time dehumanizing what's happening. They just throw it out there like numbers, and they don't think about how these are real families that are hurt, that they have to go to funerals instead of weddings, and every Thanksgiving they have an empty seat at the table. And so humanizing this crisis is really, really important through that storytelling to make sure people know that this isn't just a problem that happens over there or in this part of town. No, this is something that happens to all of us. The leading cause of death for black men is gun violence, but one of the leading causes of death for older white men is suicide by gun, right?
Yeah.
And so this is something that's not just hurting black and brown communities, it's really hurting families across this country. But those stories are helping to illuminate that.
Yeah.
So, Greg, this, Onyx Impact is about dispelling mis and disinformation, right? Particularly online. And we know that and you kind of touched on it, but there's a lot of mis and disinformation around gun violence when we talk about the data, right? And like who it proportionally impacts and all that. Can you touched on it again, but talk a little more about how that affects communities and the way that people get support and the way survivors are able to get the resources that they need with that mis and disinformation that's permeated out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough. This is the leading cause of death for black men, leading cause of death for all youth in America. leading cause of death for pregnant women, ahead of childbirth complications.
Wow.
This is also the leading cause of newly disabled Americans. So when we think about folks who their lives are shattered or changed forever, this is the #1 cause of that. And it's also the second leading cause of death for Black women and Latino men. And now it's gotten to a point where 1 in 5 Americans have been exposed to gun violence or know someone who's been shot or killed. And so this is everywhere. But first of all, we got to realize how big and present this danger is. It's one of the largest health crises of our time. But it's also big business behind it. You know, last year, the gun industry made more money than Nike did.
Wow.
Right? There are more gun stores in America than there are McDonald's. And I don't know where you're from, but it's McDonald's on every other block where I'm at. You know what I'm saying?
I don't care where you're from.
Yeah, McDonald's everywhere, right? And so this is a big, big business. And these companies are making a killing, literally, off of marketing firearms to our people by really brainwashing us to think that this is how we protect our families, knowing that a gun is an offensive tool. It should be a last resort, not a first resort. And right now, our families, you know, they always say, like, when America gets sick, you know, Black folks get the flu, right? Or we get the worst of it. With this obsession with firearms, it's exactly that, because we are the ones that are suffering the most. But as far as resources, victim services, there's a huge thing called the Crime Victims Fund. It's federally funded. Anytime someone gets prosecuted for a big white-collar crime, those dollars go into a pool called the Crime Victims Fund, and those dollars go directly to families that are hurt. Or if you're shot and injured, it can reimburse some of those costs. And when we were in the Biden administration, we actually added $2 billion to that fund. But Trump has already cut $1 billion, and now 24 states are actually suing the federal government for withholding that $1 billion that we know can go to victims. But everyone who's been impacted should know about the Crime Victims Fund, should pursue it. It's a little bit trickier to get to in certain states, but that's what it's designed for, to help victims of violent crime.
So Greg, you mentioned survivors, right, and victims. I'm interested in how the Rocket Foundation is centering the voice of survivors. And also, let's add youth in there too, right? Because even if they are the perpetrators, they're still victims of the culture that we've created, you know, to allow gun proliferation. So how do you center those voices in your fight and policy change in a way that they're not getting sidelined when the solutions come to fruition?
Well, I think the first thing is realizing, you know, when we use the word victim, we really refer to someone who's no longer here, right? So anyone who's still standing, still living and breathing, they're a survivor. And that's an important thing to share, because you go through a lot when you get shot or harmed. And survivors are not just those who have been harmed, it's also people who've lost a loved one. I mean, have y'all lost loved ones?
Yeah,
y'all are survivors, right? That family member is a survivor. And the third layer of survivors are those who have been present but not injured. And we all been to a party where a shooting happened, right? We all been to the club let out, pop, pop, pop. You know, unfortunately, it's common. But everybody in that space are all survivors, and there's layers to it. And I don't say that in a way to show harm, but it's to recognize the trauma we went through, and also to recognize that they have a role to play in how we solve this, and also the healing that they need themselves. And so with the Rocket Foundation, we're starting by with Quavo, right? Like, look, he's a survivor. He witnessed his nephew shot and killed. And love or hate him, be a fan or not, that's real trauma. You know, for that to happen right in front of you, and then also to be televised or streamed, I mean, that's one of the most traumatic things you can imagine. But he's willing to turn that pain into power. And he always said, look, I'm not the only one. It's a lot of us that have been through something like this, but we got to show them an example that you can't just crash out when you go through something traumatic. You got to do something right to prevent future harm, not just harm someone else. And so that's the voice that he's lending, his family is lending, is like, how do we pour into families? Takeoff's mom, she does, we're doing a Mother's Day event every year. We honor mothers who lost their loved ones. But it's a nice brunch, dog. I'm talking about, this thing was sponsored, man. It was Fenty, it was like everything, all white. I said, man, I was underdressed, dog. It was to the nines, right? But like, if we can do all this fanfare for celebrities, we should be able to do that for people who have lost, you know, so much and are recovering and really heroes in their own families. And so she's doing that, Quavo's doing that, and right now we're giving dollars to organizations that are working with families, navigating that trauma and helping them with that healing, that therapeutic support, and also just being there during Christmas and Thanksgiving when it's hard, you know?
Yeah, it was needed most, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Greg, I know you got to run soon, but I want to ask you, having worked in the White House, right? That's where we met, and you were doing this work. And
did you see that little humble brag? Like,
I had to drop it. I had to, you know what I'm saying?
Now, he said he made it 423 days. How many days you make it?
1.
Okay, but you was there though.
I was there. I was there.
Yeah.
I was in the building. But no, seriously, you know, having done that work at the federal level, now you're doing it in a nonprofit space. What's what's missing, I guess, from, obviously we know there's been money funding that's been cut from that, but what's missing right now from that will help enable you to do more, even in the nonprofit space? I know there's a lot of nonprofits around this this particular issue. So like, what more could be done from if we had that support from the federal government that we previously had when you were there?
Yeah, well, we were able to get 54 executive actions done. We were able to get the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act fully implemented, which made like gun trafficking a federal offense. It extended background checks. It made sure domestic abusers can't get a firearm even if there is a dating partner and not a wife. So we made some very big policy changes. But right now, I think what we really need is for more people to see themselves as a part of the movement. This is not just a law enforcement government thing. We need hospitals to lean in. We need school systems to lean in. We need the entire society to focus on this issue, same way we did with COVID, right? The same way we did with the crack cocaine epidemic, the same thing we did with every other crisis that has been a health epidemic for our people. All parts of our communities have leaned in, and that's where we're missing right now. Is we need, we need businesses and corporations. You see all these brands in here, right? Yep. All of them should be playing a role because that's what's wiping our people out. And so I think that's kind of the next step. Is like, how do we make sure people see this as a community-wide societal problem that we all work on, and not just a crime issue, right? That the police got to figure out.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Speaking of leaning into your work, man, how can we and the people find more out about the Rocket Foundation?
Oh, yeah, all right. Yeah, you can follow us at the Rocket Foundation. You can follow me at The Action Jackson. We also would love donations to the Rocket Foundation. You're welcome to do that. Every summer we have a big event called the Rocket Summit. Last year we had 800 people there. Our goal is to build that thing up, get it to the thousands, where we can educate people on the solutions and the leaders that are doing the good work in the world, but also we're bringing in different celebrities, and we're building a coalition of celebrities too that are helping to fight for this, because they're getting impacted by this. I mean, they're almost, honestly, in a lot of communities, they're a bigger target than just the average brother. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
So they know how serious it is, even if they haven't been personally traumatized. So being a part of the Rocket Summit, and then most importantly, I think everyone should just think about this crisis not as a problem over there, but something that you can help and be a part of, and figure out what that means in your neighborhood or your city, what organization you can support, what family can you support during the holidays. That's coming up soon. We all know somebody suffering loss. You got to give them a bigger hug and wrap around them a little bit heavier, especially during this fall months.
Amen. I got one more question for you before you let you jump. So, obviously there's a lot of people who do this work, right? Yeah. But I knew that Quavo was serious when I saw that he put you in charge, right? Yeah. So what is the vision, right, for the next, 3 to 5 years for the Rocket Foundation? What more do you all what more things you all want to tackle and conquer with your vision, with you leading the helm?
Well, the big thing is we want to make sure that we shift the narrative a little bit so people can see the good and the bad side of violence. We can't just romanticize violence in music without talking about what happens after the gun's pulled. And, Jay-Z did that really well when he talked about how he used to sell drugs, but he also talked about the harm. Same thing with the clips. They show both sides of the coin. Right. We got to get hip-hop culture to talk about both sides of the coin with violence. And it's happening here and there, but it needs to be a big culture shift. And so we're pushing on that. We're also, again, we're trying to build a coalition of different folks. We got Matt Barnes and All the Smoke podcasts. They're on board with us now. And so we're trying to build out just a whole movement of big voices to change the narrative on this issue. But then lastly, man, we are trying to bring more resources, because there are local organizations that are working all day to save lives. Like Hope Hustlers in Atlanta, Cure the Streets here in DC, Life Camp in New York and Queens. Yeah. Every city has community-based groups that are working to prevent violence, but they're underfunded, under-resourced. And now with Trump cutting the federal dollars, they're starting to lay people off, and they have to make their cutbacks. And so we got to wrap ourselves around them. We need corporations to lean in. We need community to lean in, because those organizations are really key to how we're reducing violence so much city to city.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. Hey, Greg, we appreciate your time, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you for all the work that you're doing, man. Thank you for doing this.
Onyx,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Greg Jackson. Make sure you follow the Rocket Foundation.
We live again, y'all. Hey, Kicks and Clickbait, we back with another special guest. We got Jessica Washington from the Dallas Weekly.
Yes. Hello. So, what do you got for me? What do I need to say?
Hey, so Jessica, man, so we talked about the Information Integrity Lab earlier, right? We got this partnership with Black Press USA. Man, Mike, did you know Dallas Weekly, they up next? They're gonna be the next paper to join this information tech
So
lab.
excited.
I love it.
So talk to us about the importance of your paper in your community, but even more, what's the importance of making sure that we can amplify those articles to the broader community that may not still pick up a newspaper?
Absolutely. Wow. So without getting too much on my soapbox, Dallas Weekly is a 71-year-old news publication. We have not missed an issue for 71 years. And so I would say that our impact and our influence in our community is incredibly pivotal because it's still Dallas, Texas, and it's still the South. And so I'll just be completely transparent. We talk about things that the mainstream, AKA the white ones, do not talk about.
Sure.
And then also we make sure in this day and age to also spread that word across not just Black, but underserved. So that also means issues affecting brown people as well. To that point, it's 2025. We are in a digital age, and I need to make sure that I meet the people where they are. And so that's why I'm excited about this collaboration, because it's going to allow us to just spread our market. I mean, the math is mathing.
Right.
Collaboration, we're strength in numbers. We got. I mean, I'll say all the things you need me to say.
Right.
But we are in a time, I don't need to over-explain it, especially for our audience, is that our voices are being taken away. And so we have to do what we've always done, is come together and be strong. I'm very excited about this.
I can tell. You got a question?
Well,
I thought
I always got a question.
You was primed up, man.
I'm ready.
He probably want to ask what kind of shoes you got on, because this is Kicks and Clickbait.
I mean,
I am a sneakerhead.
Okay.
So
I like
don't know
those.
what these are called, but I have two pair, one in black and
are those
one in
Adidas?
black.
Those are Adidas, right?
I don't know them, but they fly though.
But I'm in the Adidas world right now.
Nice.
Okay,
I love
okay.
it. I love it. Cam, you rocking the what? Stacey Adams?
Man, they the Steve Maddens. I know.
No,
You know what?
he's
He been waiting. He been waiting
fresh.
4 segments to get to these. Okay, I'm gonna let you know.
fresh.
Hey, you know what? And I'm gonna go. I think I saw a shoe shiner
Listen,
in here too.
Hey, man.
So I might have to get
Hey,
him
man,
get him
listen.
ripped up for the
I'm
next
real
one.
basic plain Jane with my little,
Are those you got forces?
Yeah, it's forces,
Man, now how many pair of forces you got in the closet, dog?
I ain't gonna lie, I got about 12.
Yeah,
Of the same
See, he
shoe.
the type of guy. As soon as he crease these,
Yep.
he gonna go to the store.
Oh, it's time to
and
get
get
some
another
already.
one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because yours are in the house, mine are in the garage.
Oh, it's just wherever we want to keep
Wherever
it in
we
the house,
keep it,
right?
wherever we keep
Yeah.
I want to ask you though about this partnership. What has been the biggest challenge, I guess, for a Black newspaper like yours, as you're moving into not only a digital age, like I kind of feel like we're post that, we're in the AI age now, right? So like, how are you navigating, being truthful, speaking truth to power, but also maintaining integrity, given that everything is clickbait, everything, you don't know what's real anymore. So how are you navigating those waters right now?
Oh my God, that's a very good question, because you don't want to just be a slave to trend.
Yeah.
And you also want to make sure you identify with the audience that's always supported you, right? So really, it's a day-to-day dance, if I'm honest with you. So sometimes I'm like, we do pay attention more to data, because like you said, we're in the AI world right now. So I do pay attention to what my audience actually likes. If I don't have the ability to go talk to 25,000 people in a day, the data will tell me what I need to know.
Right.
And so I would advise for any legacy newspaper to really just be forward thinking in that. You don't have to change everything overnight, but just pay attention to some nuanced things. Like I said, the numbers, the clicks, and just try to figure out what do these numbers actually mean. And it's not something I'm still learning, but I would say that this is an ever evolving thing. And in order for us to survive, we just got to learn.
Man, that's awesome. Man, I gotta say how excited. I can't express how excited we are to get the Dallas Weekly going. I'll spend some time in Dallas. My favorite team is the Dallas Cowboys. Win, lose, or draw. We could do something about the owner, though. We'll talk about that offline.
Y'all need to do something about Jay.
Hey, man, we actually got a big game this weekend. I don't know when this is gonna air, but Parsons coming back to Dallas.
I can't. I'm literally going home.
Man,
so I can watch that.
listen.
Can I tell a little fun fact real quick, and then
yeah.
I'll be happy to go? So I always like to let people know that it takes a person from Philadelphia, my hometown, in order to run the Dallas Weekly. Okay? So the Dallas Weekly
This is
started.
not a fun fact.
Hold on.
Okay, I'll let you go.
Dallas Weekly started in 1954 by the great Tony Davis, who was from Philadelphia, but fell in love with a woman from South Dallas. And he said, "I'm never going back." And then he created a Dallas Weekly in order to support the people that she loved. And then my father-in-law, the great James A. Washington, came from Chicago, came to Dallas, bought the Dallas Weekly from the original owner, but also married a woman from Philadelphia.
Oh my goodness.
And then they had my husband, Patrick Washington, who married me, who happens to be from Mount Airy, Philadelphia, and he gave me the business as CEO and publisher. So, say what you will.
So what you saying? It's an eagle.
Fly Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Hey, you know what? I still love you, even if you hating on my Dallas Cowboys.
As a disgruntled Raiders fan.
Oh, you've been disgruntled for a decade. I mean, so have we, but at least we got a Super Bowl since we've been alive.
Listen, man.
Continue.
Listen, man. Hey, but I do live in Los Angeles, and we do have a Super Bowl. Our Rams. Yeah.
But you're a Raiders fan.
Yeah, but you know, I'm
No. At least you stuck true with the Philadelphia
I'm not.
team, dog.
I'm a bandwagon hopper.
Yeah.
I'm a bandwagon. I'm going with whoever's winning. I'm rooting for everybody black.
Hey, you know what? That's
Everybody
also why he wears white Nikes. So he can wear it with any jersey.
Facts. You already know how I get down. Listen.
Yeah, no, you got it.
Listen, I'm a sucker, y'all. I ain't trying to hide it. I'm a sucker. I'm a Warriors fan, a Lakers fan. Like diehard.
No, man.
Yeah, bro. Listen. Yeah, it's I'm always gonna win. Well, not if I'm a Lakers fan. Not lately. Anyway, so
I mean, this.
So, what I want to talk about, I get a question in here. So, I think one of the things that Onyx is trying to do with these partnerships is restore, I think, the trust and really the dignity of Black press, right? Because I think what happens is, oftentimes, folks, we get high on our horse, and it's like, if it ain't coming from the New York Times or the Washington Post or LA Times, it's like, it ain't credible. But people don't know that Black press has been putting that work in for a very long time, with integrity, with class. So, I mean, talk about why people should support Black newspapers. It seems like a no-brainer, but like, to talk about why it's important to, maintain that legacy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is important, of course, and I believe in the ecosystem. That's the word that I love all the time about supporting each other. But I also think the onus is on the legacy newspaper owners themselves to do their due diligence of letting people know what their position is in history and currently as well. I'm always letting people know that anytime you see a photo from a civil rights, movement or anything like that, 9 times out of 10, it came from a Black newspaper.
Yeah.
Anytime that your grandmom said that she knew about something going on down the street, it's because it came from a Black legacy newspaper. Though I don't want to deviate too far, but I was like, the importance of us having the ability to use our voice in the way we want to use it is so dire into our whole entire history and existence. So, I would say that's the mission that I'm on at the Dallas Weekly as a new CEO and publisher, is that, yes, I'm still amplifying Black voices, but I'm also teaching history at the same time.
Amen. Jessica, I'm so glad you joined us. And even though it sounds like you're an Eagles fan, you got Cowboys colors on today. So,
I'm going to let you slide with that.
Hey, no, I got to slide with it.
I know where I pay my taxes.
Slid outside with it.
I'm going to let you slide.
Thank you so much for coming.
Appreciate you. I can't wait for this partnership to go live. It's coming very, very soon, man. We'll catch you on the next segment of Kicks and Clickbait.
Yes, y'all. We are back with Kicks and Clickbait here live at CBC. Man, I think we gotta change the name.
No, it's Kicks, Clickbaits, and hats.
Yeah, I mean,
come on, man. Like,
y'all
for
stuck
doing
in
like
here and
this
just
is
made
crazy.
it. You know what I mean? Like,
Man.
This is crazy, man. So
we here, man. We got Brian and Stanzel from Fruition and Company. All right, now y'all out of Atlanta, right?
Correct. Yep.
Right. So tell us, man. Somebody tell us your story real quick.
All right. So we are based in Atlanta, starting in 2018. Just off the love of hats. We grew up in Detroit, so headwear was always been the thing. So our fathers wore hats, uncles wore hats, and so it was a emerging fashion that was coming back. It never left, but it was coming back. We worked in the industry and decided that it was just time to change that narrative, just the bold, just the basic blacks and the grays, and put some color and love into some flash into it. And then so we decided to open our own store, and the pandemic happened, and we opened one, and then actually went well during the pandemic. We opened another one, and then we kept growing. And so now we are in some big box retail, and we're helping other brands figure out what they want to do, how to get to larger platforms when it comes.
That's awesome, man.
To fashion.
Man, this is Mike. This is one of the great things about CBC, right? We're not just here for the politics, right?
No,
we're here for entrepreneurship. We're here for Black power, man.
And the fashion.
So what really struck me, you said that y'all opened up pre-pandemic, and instead of failing in the pandemic, y'all doubled up. Y'all multiplied, man. So tell us about how, like, what was that journey going through the pandemic, and how did y'all get through it? Not only survive, but thrive?
It was an adventure.
Yeah.
We had to take away pretty much everything we had planned for. One of our shops was scheduled to open in May of 2020, and in March was when everything shut down.
Yeah.
And so we just had to sit down, take a breather, not get caught up on what we had planned for, and just to figure out what we can do now given the circumstances. Yep.
Can y'all talk about, the power of, because we were talking earlier before y'all got on about like the power of culture, right? And fashion plays such a big role in that, and our resistance. Talk about how, if at all, how that impacted the way, like how y'all, go about making y'all designs.
I think that with everything going on, I think one of the largest lessons is that we have one life, and in that one life, we get to make choices. And as far as fashion is concerned, I believe that it has impacted us from the standpoint of express yourself at your, highest freedom level. And so that's kind of like what we do. We fold it in, when we sit and talk with our clients, we ask about what they like, because what we're learning is that everything at this point is about expression. You don't feel fashionable if you're not expressing. And so I think that's kind of like how that all works for us.
Absolutely.
Man, I want to dig a little bit deeper than that, man. So because we're releasing a new app, a new AI tool called Aisha, right? And it's culturally centered, right? It's an AI tool explicitly built with Blackness in mind, right? So talk to me about like the importance of culture as you see it through the fashion lens, but you're also in Atlanta, which is another Black mecca of ours. Talk to us about the importance of culture and what that means to what that means to Black folks, right? Because at the end of the day, we're also trying to get people to be civically engaged, right? And culture, it has to empower that in some way.
So we always talk about there we go. So we always talk about like how culture impacts everything, right?
Yeah.
Being Black, being in Atlanta, really gives us like that real, that cemented root of like culture, right? So everybody looks towards Atlanta now for what's hot. And so also being a Black brand that's emerging out of there, I feel like pushes the envelope for, other entrepreneurs elsewhere to say, yeah, I could do this. Because we have some other entrepreneurs that reached out to us that don't live in Atlanta or in the Georgia area. And they like, man, you guys inspire us to do what we do. And so I feel like just what we do for the culture and what we do for like the city of Atlanta really helps. Like our first store, we put it in one of the most like impoverished areas where Black entrepreneurship was not there. Like people didn't want it, but we were like, you know what, we're gonna go in the area, we're gonna make it dope and make people want to come there. So I think we made we brought fashion and the culture to the city, to a piece of the city. They already had some going on, but I think we kind of helped out on that and left a good mark on it so far.
Yes, sir. Nah, well, we thank y'all brothers for joining us, man. We love what y'all are doing. I gotta get a hat. Like, come on now. Cam could be the only one.
He's trying to, hey, he feeling left out, guys. That's what it is.
Come on, man. So,
we gotta take care of that.
I appreciate y'all, man. Can you let us know how we can, find y'all stuff online?
Absolutely. Yep, you can find us online at Fruition Hat Company. We are also available in Hartsfield-Jackson Airport Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. We're Saks Online. We're inside of Bloomingdale's and Lenox Mall. And we're on Instagram at Fruition Hat Co. So we're pretty easy to find.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Yes,
y'all better get there.
Hey, for real.
Fellas.
Appreciate y'all, brothers.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, y'all. We are here. CBC 54. We are here with Totally Randy.
Totally Randy.
Totally
in the building.
Randy, like-
in the building.
Like we in the flesh.
Yeah. Hey,
We are here. We're live. We're all hungry.
we are all hungry. You know what? This is day 2 for me and Totally Randy. Mike just slid in late. You know what I mean? But no, he took a whole red eye today.
I took a red eye.
Let's shout out Mike for getting a red eye.
I've not had no food today. I have not had no water. So
Hey,
the
man,
fact
don't tell people that they gonna make you. You gonna make them think we starving you.
my agent will be. Hey.
Hey, Randy, this will turn into an interrogation video.
Hey,
It's like,
hey.
when they,
I'm in
Hey.
the union.
Hey, you better smile.
No, thank you for having us. Thank you for being with us.
Yeah.
Thank you for being with us. Tell us about what CBC means for you, especially this year. Like, what does this being here right now mean?
You know what? I revisited the coverage that I did 2 years ago because y'all know I just had a baby. I say that all the time. Shout out Onyx and Lux. No, I literally went back and looked at my video. And in my intro video, before I interviewed Horsford, Congressman, I literally said that DC is the heart of American democracy. And when I listened to that, I said to myself, is it? That's how it feels this year. Just 2 years later, is it? You know, this is the place where history and future converge, and it just feels like to me that, you know, democracy is lost in our country at the moment. However, made for this moment and being at ALC 54 really feels like resilience that runs through our blood, resilience that runs through everybody's blood. You know, and to see people who are in this building still have joy. They still have, you know, the unity part. They still, Black people, I always say this all the time, Black people are they're one of the most forgiving cultures, like the most inclusive cultures. Like that whole thing about anybody else got a cookout?
Right.
Raise your hand. Does your culture have a cookout that can invite me to the cookout and my salsa dancing and bachata and all of that at your cookout? When I come to your cookout, do I put raisins in my, you know, my mac and cheese?
Okay.
So that I just want to know. I just want to know.
Hey.
We have a cookout that we invite people to. And so you have the essence of that. You still have Black leaders, thought leaders, professionals, young kids that are here, that are looking to have their voice heard, that are looking to be seen. We spoke with the Hip Politics podcast. Y'all go follow those young kids. They're in college, Howard University. And they were talking about, hey, we want to be seen. We want more of us here. So HBCUs, that money that the administration just poured into you, bring the kids to CBC. We want to see that. And as a journalist that is covering the CBC, because that's why I'm here. I have the press badge, y'all. You know, I don't have the speaker. I don't have the perks. I'm literally just doing work. But as a journalist, you know, I thought I was going to come here and see some defeat. But instead, because that's how I felt coming. But instead of coming in and seeing defeat, I have come here and I have seen energy. I have seen fire. I have seen resilience. I have seen love. I have seen joy. Don Lemon and I had a dance break.
You told me about that. Yeah.
Shout out to Don Lemon.
Yeah.
You know,
I got to interview Don Lemon today. I got to reverse it. Yeah.
And that's so unfair to me because all I got was a question while we were walking.
Yeah. But you got a question and a dance. Don't downplay that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, and we talk about that, how Black journalists are losing their jobs.
Yeah.
You know, and how they're having to figure it out. And I've always been in the digital space, right? And so for me, I'm welcome to please join the digital space, make our voice louder, make our culture, brighter for everyone. So thank y'all so much. And can we talk about that?
Yeah, well, before we get there, because you talk about this being in this digital space, right? I mean, you're a journalist. You talk about democracy being lost, right?
Right.
We know, typically the digital space is how you can typically break through,
Absolutely.
right? Versus the mainstream media, all that stuff. But even in the digital space, there's attacks on the algorithms, right? That might not allow certain conversations to break through.
Absolutely.
As a storyteller and a journalist, how do you navigate that to ensure the stories that you're trying to tell do get out to the masses?
You know, I'm glad you asked that question because it has been very hard for me. We're fighting on all fronts. And when I say on all fronts, y'all. So the algorithm really does hurt people who they like to suppress, right? Like people who are like, I've noticed like my engagement goes down, but I rely on community. I rely on tribe. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that all of us do, and I've seen even people that I work with, shout out to Don Montgomery, shout out to Misha Green, managing editor for the Washington Informer. What we do is we rely on our community and we rely on our tribe. And I tell people, hey guys, I need you to share this.
Yeah.
Because the algorithm is gonna suppress it. It's not gonna go if I don't say anything. But when I ask people, hey, can you share this? Then you have thousands of views on YouTube, thousands of views on TikTok.
Yeah.
You know, Instagram and Meta, they're going to do their things, but collaborations as well. So one thing I've learned to really help, and I see that all of us that do this work, content creators like Booker Squared, who works with the Washington Informer, collaborating with those papers and collaborating with people like that, then it drives the engagement. It's almost like you beat the algorithm a little bit. And so, you know, again, social media and the digital space was created by my generation. Not only did I grow up with it, I have watched it transform, I have played with it, and I have moved every single step it made. I have made the step with social media. So you really do have to be up on technology. You really do have to read on how it advances every single day, daily now, you know? And you have to make sure that you're doing the things to fight against that algorithm, because it's really just that. The community is there.
Yep.
We just have to reach them.
So, you interviewing me now.
I can't get out of it.
You answered so many of my questions I wanted to ask about, you know, because we're talking obviously about, you know, being in the AI space, being in this post-digital world, really. And so I asked a question to our last guest, but like, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but like, how are you navigating, again, kind of being like a digital native, right? Kind of like, how are you navigating now, being in a space where like almost literally anybody, I mean, before anybody can create content, but now anybody can create content. Anybody can, you know, say this is news, and we don't know what's real and what's fake. How do we restore that trust in media in general? I mean, it's obviously Black journalists and Black media is a lot more trustworthy than traditional media, especially for our people. But overall, how do we restore that media, that trust in media when you have a president that's saying that the media is the enemy of the people, you know, and they're the worst, the scum of the earth and all this stuff. So what do we do, Randy, to kind of restore that trust in media?
I love that. That's a really good question. And I love that question. And one of the things that we do is exactly what we're doing right now, which is the partnership with the Onyx Impacts is so important, you guys. And I am just literally overjoyed to be with you guys and partnering with you guys and really making history in what you guys are doing. So one of the things is when you go and you actually go to Ask Aisha and you ask Aisha, right, and you look up the sources, because I'm going to give an example and I'm going to make sure that this is not long, but an example was, because I'm always watching, as a person who documents history unbiased, I have to go and see what the writer's doing. So I'm over there looking at what they're doing. And recently, you guys know that Governor Newsom and the administration, they've been clapping back at each other, right? And so MAGA put out 2 screenshots of information. And of course it's going. I see that it has 1 million views because, you know, Twitter is pushing that. And I had somebody ask, I saw that somebody asked another MAGA person, say, hey, where did this come from? What is the source of this, right? Then another MAGA person asked Grok, which is Twitter's AI. Grok gave a statement and it sort of hallucinated. Now, if you're not up on technology, you can go and Google these things. What does AI hallucination mean? It sort of hallucinated, and then it gave a statement that somebody came back and said, well, where is your source? One of the things that I love about Ask Aisha is that one of the sources that they have is from the Black press. Now, the Black press is a 198-year-old institution that was started during slavery, okay? And I am so honored to work with the Black press and to, you know, Black Press USA, our president, Dr. Benjamin F. Chavis. And I always tell people, how do you know our information is accurate? Well, I give them this example. When you had Hidden Figures, the movie that was being made, they had to go and do research on Katherine G. Johnson. Who covered that? Brenda Andrews.
Yeah.
They got some of the information from her paper. And so when you are looking at how can I trust the media, right? One of the things is going back to those sources that literally have been paving the way. There are a 61-year-old publication, The Afro, 133-year-old publication, Houston Style Magazine, Forward Times. You know, you have to literally go back to the community-sourced papers. You know, and honestly, you have to not be a little naive. Because if you're getting told what to do and you're not searching for it, then you're however you're being led, it's on you. Yeah. That's why I love Ask Aisha, because they're going to give you the source.
Right.
And where it's from. You did it for a lot of, I've been with you guys yesterday and I saw you guys actually say, hey, you put the technology in their hands.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you said, look it up for yourself. And then when she searched it in California, where these students were from, the Oakland Post came up.
Yeah, all the black papers in the state of California came up. Yeah.
Shout out to Oakland Post, my hometown right there.
Yeah, see, you didn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, just last segment, he's from LA. Okay.
No.
All right.
See, what had happened was, I was born and raised out there.
Okay.
And then, I started making movies and I moved to LA. That's it. That's what happened.
Why can't we? Yeah. Hey, hold on, another humble brag, right? He didn't just say start making storytelling.
He
said making
making movies.
Come on, man.
Going to the White House.
Oh, yeah. Hey. Man, hey, I need to check his resume. I need to run your resume through Aisha.
Look, wait a minute.
Hey.
Aisha can do background checks.
Coming next.
This has been a great episode of Kicks and Clickbait. I was Michael Payton. Cam, you want to take us home?
Yeah, man. Hey, let's wrap it up, man. I'm so excited we finally got you on the pod. Man, this whole day has been great, man. I think we got 4 or 5 little clips that we're going to get. But, man, some of the takeaways that I got, man, number one, I can interview Don Lemon.
Facts.
Like that.
A little humble brag yourself. You know what I'm saying?
But it was also, I also want to talk about, man, just what this day with CBC means, man. This is an empowering day, right?
Yes.
It's an empowering opportunity. I think right before the Don Lemon thing, we were talking, and she was like, you should be a journalist. I'm like, I'm good where I'm at, right? And then I come meet you in the hallway. You like, hey, Don Lemon's downstairs. I'm like, then let's go get him. Let's go get him. So you never know, man. Sometimes some other people got to see something in you before you see it in yourself, right?
Absolutely.
I see something in Aisha, and I just need all y'all to see it as well, right? Aisha is a tool that we need to use. Mike, you've mentioned this a couple of times. Black folks might be on the back end, right? We might be behind the 8 ball when it comes to AI, right? Technology, period.
We are behind the curve.
Yeah, but Aisha is a way for us to catch back up, right?
Absolutely.
And doing it in a way that is centered in blackness, powered by black news, powered by black media. It's going to take us into the future, man. So you already know where to go to get it. onyximpact.org, the digitalgreenbook.org. Aisha's there, and guess what? The app is coming. The app is coming.
Can I, if you guys don't mind? Because I'm also like this. Pull your phone out right now. If you're watching right now, you can just swipe up and go on over to your Instagram.
Yeah.
Go ahead and follow as well. Where can we follow for the Onyx Impact?
At the Onyx Impact. I hope that they already followed us if they're seeing this, because it's going to be on the IG.
Oh, right. But you just never know. It could be a shared clip.
Yeah, you just in case.
It could be a shared clip.
At the Onyx Impact on all socials.
Right.
You pull it up. Yeah, we get it up, man.
And make sure you follow at Black Press USA. And
Indeed.
at Totally Randy. And Totally is spelled exactly how it is. Randy is RANDIE. Yeah. Go and follow the Onyx Impact at Black Press USA, at Totally Randy. I don't know if these guys want to drop theirs. I don't know if they want to drop theirs. Y'all want to?
Hey.
I mean, if you want to follow me, you might see me on there at the White House with Jay-Z, hanging out. You might just see me doing, for one day I was at the White House, at Michael Jordan Payton on Instagram. That's why I'm most active at. My name is Michael Jordan.
Yeah, Michael Jordan. No,
my name is Michael Jordan.
I mean, I knew that.
I got none of the skills.
No.
But I got the focus, though.
You got the focus?
Yeah.
You got the focus and the drive.
I got some of the height. Some of the height. Michael's like, what, 6'5", 6'6"?
6'6". I mean, listen, at 6'6", so he's probably already 6'4".
Right.
I'm 6'3". You know how it goes.
So that's what we do.
They looking at me like crazy on stage.
Little flub.
They listed me at 6 foot when I played high school basketball.
6'3", yeah.
My doctor told me I was 72 inches. You know what? I was really 5'9" and 3/4. But hey, I played like I was 6 foot though. All right, I ain't even gonna lie, man. Okay, I need to give y'all my IG,
drop it, man.
So here's the thing. I couldn't think of a cool name and I didn't want to use my name. So mine is no_cool name with a K, no_cool name on IG. I think I ain't on Twitter no more.
Which is actually a really cool name. It's actually a really cool name. It's actually a really cool name. I was like, why did I think of that?
Like if you say something 7 times, you know what, Donald? Never mind.
Yeah.
I stopped.
He may have one of the greatest names, one of the greatest Twitter names of all time.
One of the greatest of all time.
I was just gonna say,
Billions.
don't worry, Nina.
Yes,
We're gonna-
billions of
Nina,
followers.
We're gonna cut all of this. This will end up on the scrap room floor.
But
hey,
let's talk about his shoes. Let's talk about his shoes. Let's do that. Aren't they a beauty? Aren't they a beauty? Look at their beauty.
They are.
What are those?
These are the
What are those?
The Donnie Jr. officials.
I'm messing with you, man. You fly. My man is fly. I want to be clear. My man is fly.
No. Yeah, they
Totally
they
Randy.
loafers.
Hey,
That's what
Black
we call
Press
them.
USA and Totally Randy has nothing to do with what we just said just now.
Matter of fact, Onyx or Fostering or any organization I'm affiliated with have nothing to do with the last 5 minutes.
Don't add me. Don't add me. Randy, thank you so much.
Matter of fact, that's not my name on Instagram.
Hey, man, this has been Kicks and Clickbait live at CBC 54. If y'all don't cancel us, we'll be back for another episode, man. Thank y'all for having us.